Hey, welcome to Atkins Diet. My name is Kent Altena. I'm glad to be back for my Thanksgiving break. I had lots of great low-carb dinners over that time, but I wanted to share something that I initially called one of my flops, but it actually turned out pretty well. I was trying to make up a low-carb biscuit for my daughter who had just started the Atkins Diet, and we were missing any Carb Quick in the house, so I wanted to make something up, and it ended up not coming out like I wanted. I posted it to the Facebook site, and they suggested I call it Chewy Garlic Cheddar Squares or Chewy Garlic Cheddar Breadsticks. So come along with me as I cook it up. So I have 2 cups of almond flour in here. I'm using Trader Joe's almond flour, but you could just as easily grind this up yourself from some slivered or blanched almonds. To this, I'm going to add a half a stick or 2 ounces of cold butter. And it is somewhat important that you do use cold butter as opposed to butter that might melt quickly because it won't hold its shape within the almond flour if you do. So at this point you just kind of want to cut it up into small squares. And then you want to grind it together with your hands until it's a coarse meal. So I'll go ahead and do this, and we'll catch back up at that point. As you can see, you just take the butter, the cold butter squares, and run it into the almond flour. And you're good essentially when all the butter is coated with almond flour and there's not a whole lot of extra flour left without butter attached to it. Alright, so you can kind of see the coarse meal-like texture to it. Alright, to this we're going to add 2 ounces of cheddar cheese. Half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of parsley flakes for some color, and a pinch of salt. Alright, we're going to mix these together. And we're going to add a half a cup of heavy whipping cream. And just enough water to help it combine. Roughly a half a cup as well. We're going to mix these through each other, and at this point it should become a relatively thick batter or dough. It should hold together, but it shouldn't be too wet that it just falls apart. Alright, you want to mix it together just enough that there's not any unincorporated almond flour in the bottom of the bowl. So we'll catch back up in just a second as we put it on our parchment lined cookie sheets. Alright, welcome back. I have my parchment paper lined sheet pan. You want to make sure you're using parchment paper and not wax paper. So come along with me as I layer out my garlic bars. Like I said, you could be making biscuits or breadsticks, and at that point all you're doing is changing the way you're laying out the dough on the parchment paper. Because of the butter within these will expand quite a bit, so you want to make sure you give them adequate space to spread out. I have my oven preheating at 450 degrees right now. Okay, these are going to go in the oven at that 450 degrees for about 8 to 10 minutes until they're done. Keep checking them. They'll be done when they're crispy on top and crispy on the bottom, that you're able to lift them up and have them stick together. So we'll catch back up at that point. Alright, the timer just went off. And you can see the biscuits are just like I told you. It's starting to get brown on the bottom and brown on top. That way you know they're done. Well, I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope this reaches everyone in great health. Talk to you guys later. Bye.